Hey everybody, it's Safia Marco, Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again. Sorry, I've had a long day, exhausting. I just worked out again for the first time in a while, and so I'm just like, ugh. And anyways, I'm here to review Monk Season 1. I kind of stayed away from this show because I don't like procedurals at all. I hate them with a passion. Like, ugh, procedurals. Ugh, gross. Like, I just can't stand the thought of watching, like, 20 million hours of, like, this dark, cold, sad music. Oh no, mister, we found another body. This time it was a child who was raped and then electrocuted and then stabbed in the eyeballs and then ran over with a tank. And so far we have we have a suspect, and it's this really creepy guy, and we have no evidence. And I hate that type of thing. Like, every single week it's like a new one. It's so ugh. It's like it makes me want to jump out the window, if you know what I mean. Like in a Clockwork Orange, when Alex is in the upstairs and they're playing the Beethoven, and he quote unquote he can't stand it anymore, and so he just jumps out the window. That's what procedurals make me want to do. I've tried some procedurals, and some of them, like Numbers. Numbers was one, like, I really wanted to like, and I still do kind of like some of it. I think it's got some it's got its moments, but it's such a procedural show. And this show has its procedural elements, and so I finally decided to watch it because I'm in a Psych fan club on Facebook. I am a huge fan of Psych. I'll do a Psych review someday. We already did a top, where we ranked all the Halloween episodes from Psych. We haven't done anything else, which is sad, because we did review both movies, or we wanted to. And but anyways, I heard all these comparisons to Monk, kind of like saying they're kind of the same a little bit. They've got some similarities. They're both quirky. They're both kind of light and funny, and they both, I don't know, they're both different. And so I watched Monk, and it was pretty good. It had a really strong start. Like, I watched that first episode, the two-parter, Mr. Monk and the Candidate. I was like blown away. Like, wow. Oh, I really was missing out on something. Wow, it's so good. And you got great characters, kinda. You got great story. You got great pacing. You got great writing. I mean, it's just so good. And then after that, you had some good episodes, some bad episodes, and it evened out into a pretty good season. There are some pros and cons that I want to go over. Let's just start off with the pros and be positive. And be as positive as we can, so that people can stop pretend. I mean, people have an obsession with telling. Sorry, my throat got dry for a second. Sorry. But people have an obsession with focusing on the negative. And it's funny because if you look at the videos, people love it when you're negative for some reason. But then you got people who complain about being negative. And it's like, most of the time, I'm never being negative in a mean-spirited type of way. There was one time where I really was, and I debated taking the video down when I did the Australian movies video, and I talked about. I don't want to get into that, but let's just say something really, really pissed me off, and that I was being mean-spirited there. But every time I'm negative, it's always like a fun type of negative. It's a ha ha ha, I'm having fun, and I'm doing stuff for the show, and I'm just, over exaggerating. I'm not really that mad. I'm not really like having a breakdown over them tokenizing, because this is just news today. They tokenized Snow White. Fuck those people. Jesus Christ. Fucking tokenizing Snow White. They literally say her skin is as white as snow. Oh my god. So embarrassing. But you got Monk here, and let's talk about the pros. The first pros, it's very entertaining. Even the bad episodes, even the episodes that are just kind of even those episodes are not that bad. I mean, I didn't really notice an episode that was lagging until after I thought about it. I just kind of enjoyed the ride, And so that's great, You want a show like that. You don't want a show where you watch an episode and it's like, oh, I don't like this episode. Oh, this is boring. This is stupid, You want to enjoy the whole ride. And that can happen even with long-running shows. That's the hilarious thing about, like, nowadays where you got this infatuation with having short shows that, okay, we're done. Oh, what, you just got started. You just did like 5 episodes. Oh, no! We don't want to overstay our welcome. Like, fuck off. Seriously? Like, that's not what television is for. Television is all about overstaying your welcome. I mean, in the 50s, they would recast people, recast main characters. They didn't give a shit. They would just recast people right and left and say, hey, that person died, screw them. Let's get right on that replacement. Let's get the casting going right now. And that is kind of, but television is meant to be long running, and this show, it's got 12 episodes, and that's a nice amount. It's not too short like other shows, so I appreciated that. And so that's another pro, is that it didn't feel like it was rushed, because a lot of shows nowadays, every single show almost feels rushed. And it's because of that myth. And it all started really, I think, with Breaking Bad. When Breaking Bad ended after its crappy little 5 seasons, and I say crappy meaning just the length of it, not like in terms of the content. But when they ended at that level, it created this this effect where everything now has to be short. Everything has to be like as short as possible. We cannot have any character growth. We cannot have any room to have fun scenes that couldn't happen, because you gotta trim those out. We can't do those one-off episodes where, Malcolm in the Middle, they did an episode where, what if the main characters were girls, and then the dad was really fat, and then the mom was different, What if they did that? Oh, we can't do that. We can't overstay our welcome. Monk doesn't care about that. It's got a nice pace to it. And then another thing is, his OCD is really funny. At first it was kind of annoying, and I saw some people, and they said, like, that the show is basically this typical crime drama show with his OCD problems, kind of like every couple of minutes, like that'll affect something somehow, and so it's like kind of cheap and stupid the way that it's like just this convenient thing just sprinkled in there for to make the show interesting. But that's the thing, is that's every show. I mean, come on. Tell me the difference between the Twilight Zone and the Outer Limits. Okay? There's not very much difference, is there? Tell me the difference between I Love Lucy And I don't know any other show from the 50s or 60s. Tell me the difference. There's minor differences. Every show is almost the same because that's just how storytelling works. I mean, come on. That's just ridiculous. And then another great thing is the acting from Monk himself, Tony Shalhoub, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. He's really good, obviously. You know, this show is centered around him, and so he gets the shine, and he deserves it because he's really good. And another thing is, you know, you got Buffalo Bill as the captain, Captain Mustache Man. He loves he loves being in these police roles where he's got to have this big mustache like in The Alienist and shit. And he's really good too. And then another thing is the villains. Monk has some great villains, I'll say. They're memorable villains. Like, even though this is a procedural, you know, you got these kind of like meh episodes and then the good ones. Even in the meh ones, there's some good villains. Like, there's this one about the psychic, Mr. Monk and the psychic, and that guy was really creepy, and he was a good villain. You got even the worst episode of the season, I would say, has a good villain. So I like that, the fact that it has good villains. And let's see, is there anything else? Not really, no, because the show's very bare. And now let's get to the cons, because there are a couple. For starters, the theme song. I don't know what they were thinking. I do not like this theme song at all. It is like nails on a chalkboard. Every time it comes on, I press skip. Just really harshly, you know, not gently. Skip! You know, really, really skipping it. Because I just do not like it. It's like there's this horrible murder committed. You know, it just does not fit at all. It is so bad. It is so weird. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, what are you? Why is this the theme? Why is this weird? I mean, come on. Maybe if it would, I don't know. It's just, it does not fit to me at all. Number 2, another flaw of the show is the cast. Because the cast is so small. It is so small. I mean, you got Monk. That's number 1. You got Sharona. Oh, we'll talk about Sharona. Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about Sharona. Oh, yeah. And then we got Captain Mustache Man. We got Captain Mustache Man's sidekick. The really tall guy who looks like a dumb henchman who just got kicked in the balls. You know, he's got this, like, look on his face all the time. Like he's confused, like he's mind blown, like he's just got, you know, he's like an evil henchman, and a little kid goes up to him and kicks him in the balls, and it goes ding, and he just crosses his eyes. That's what he looks like all the time. And you know, at least he has some good character near the end, but just not very much to work with there. And then what else? Who else is there? I guess the psychiatrist is one. You know, he's pretty vanilla, to say the least. And then that's about it. Everyone else is a character who leaves after every episode. Except I guess you could say Sharona's son is another, but he's not really a main character, is he? So you can't really count him. So yeah, the cast is way too small. It just does not feel like a full show. You know, let's make, and I'm sorry to say this, let's make a comparison to Psych. You got that amazing cast on Psych. Even in the first season, this strong cast where every character feels like they get their shining moments. You got Sean. You got Gus. You got Chief Vic, even. You got Henry, his dad. You got Lassiter. You got Buzz. You got Jules. You got... There's even more than that, I think. And that's such an amazing cast. And with this show, it just feels like you got Monk. And then you got Mustache Man. He's sometimes okay. And then everyone else sucks. Except for the new crime characters. Like, you don't have any moments where Sharona really shines, because Sharona is trash. I mean, Sharona is probably the one who created the coronavirus. I mean, that's how bad she is. I really despise Sharona. And we'll talk about her now, because she's supposed to be like the side character, like the main side character, like the Gus to his Sean. And she's just straight up trash. And it's too bad, because I looked up, actually, and the actress is from A League of Their Own, which is one of my favorite comedies. And of course, she was the one crying. He was telling her there's no crying in baseball, and she was like, ooh, and I couldn't believe that's her. And she's a really good actress. She did a really good job on the show playing the part that they gave her, but the part was bad. I mean, sorry, throat dried up again, and I didn't bring any water. What a crappy reviewer I am. What a trash. Sometimes I critique myself. And so, I mean, remember back in the old days where I didn't even have a picture? I mean, seriously, glad we're past those days. But anyway, Sharona, every single episode, she's quitting. Every single one. Monk, I'm gonna quit. And it's like, what the hell? Why are you doing this? I'm supposed to like you. You're supposed to be a good character. You're not supposed to be this annoying trash character who wants to quit every episode. I mean, one time it is really, really kind of, you can get her where she's coming from. And I thought that was a good episode, kind of. The one where they're really low on money and they don't get paid for some reason, and she's threatening to quit. And that episode was actually, they handled that pretty well. But just every single episode, Monk, I'm gonna quit. Monk, I want a vacation now. And I know being Monk's nurse would probably drive you crazy. But she's a nurse. She's supposed to be a nurse. She's a main character. She's supposed to be likable. She's not supposed to be someone who you want to leave the show in a way that's written well, if you know what I mean. And then another thing. Every single episode, she's got a new boyfriend, and every single time the boyfriend is evil. I mean, wow. Oh, what terrible taste she has. Oh, I mean, come on. That's another thing to make her unlikable. I mean, it's funny, kind of, that, and they actually make a joke about it, and it is kind of funny, but it's really not a good look. It could have been played well if it was in a dramatic way, whereas, like, if you had it where her final episode was she got another boyfriend and it turns out he's the killer and then he kills her, that would have been really effective. But no, we can't do that, because I don't know. I really don't know with her. She's just really unlikable, and, she complains a lot, and it just doesn't really feel like she should be there. Like, it doesn't feel like she's the right fit for the show, and it just feels sad, because it just, it makes me think about, what if Psych didn't have Gus in it? You would have a Sharona character. Oh God, would that suck? I mean, oh God, Psych without Gus. Oh God. I'm getting, I want to puke. That's how bad it would be. And this is it. This is Monk is Psych without Gus. You got Sharona. And it's too bad. Just improve on a character. Write her better next season, season 2. Make her better. I'm not saying I'm gonna forever hate her. It's just this season she was not likable, and that's a huge issue. That is a massive issue. There was only 1 or 2 times where she was really likable. Probably the first time was when never mind. And in the plane episode, she was kind of likable. The way that she acted, and the way that she would help him swipe things. I thought that was really cool. I want more of that. I want more of her being his partner. Not this complaining, whiny woman who wants to quit all the time. She's got a new boyfriend all the time, and the boyfriend's bad. I mean, are they really going to do that in season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5? Come on, please don't do that. Another flaw, let's see. Well, let's just get my favorite episode of the show. I'm going to do this instead because I just think I destroyed a massive part of the show, since the show is really supposed to be about them too. And, the first episode she quits. Like, in the first episode, she literally quits. And there's an assassination plot going on. And the captain has got to go to her himself and beg her to come back. I mean, oh my God. What a terrible, terrible character. I mean, of course, Gus quit in the first episode as well. And so, you could give her 1 time to quit. 1 time is okay, 2 is pushing it, and 3 is, okay, F you. I don't like you anymore. But my favorite episode, getting back to the positive, my favorite was probably Mr. Monk and the other woman, or Mr. Monk goes to the asylum. Either of those, and then probably third place is the pilot. Speaking of chemistry, I loved Monk and that woman that he meets in The Other Woman. I loved their chemistry. They were so good together. And it was like, wow, they had something special. They're a fiery couple. That's Michael and Holly from The Office right there. And so if you had her be the nurse, or if you had her be the main character, oh, fuck yeah, I'm watching all those seasons. But no, unfortunately, that's a huge problem with the episode, is they get rid of her. They say, oh no, she is too good for Monk, because they shit all over Monk too. I mean, he's got to deal with a lot of crap, and I love that. I love the fact that's another pro. Lots of conflict with Monk. That one episode, really cringeworthy, where he dresses up in a police uniform thinking he's gonna get promoted, and then and I mean, not promoted, reinstated, and the captain just comes out and looks at him like, God, this guy's, oh no, this is awkward. That was really funny. It's sad at the same time. But anyways, as I said, him and the other woman, they had such great chemistry. That dinner scene was phenomenal. With him, like, he really likes her, but he doesn't know if she's the killer. Like, that was really good. And then with the asylum episode, you had the perfect villain. And he is the best villain of the season. This head doctor of the asylum. Because he knows Monk's condition, and he knows how to fuck with them. And he knows how to mess up the minds of everybody there at the asylum. He is crazy, he is evil, and he was a really good villain. He knew what to do, and I think I really hope that he returns. He was also in Better Call Saul as the villainous lawyer of the villain lawyer firm that bitch Kim joins at one point. Sorry, I just got off on a tangent about that. But anyways, those are my favorite episodes, and then my least favorite episode would probably be... It's tough. Oh yeah, I just remembered another con. My least favorite episode is Mr. Monk and the Red-Headed Stranger. But I also did not like Mr. Monk meets Dale the Whale. And I'll talk about that one too. Mr. Monk and the Red-Headed Stranger was very awkward for me. It felt like, okay, I know what you're doing, buddy. It's either Monk, the actor playing Monk, it's either him or the writer or the director or the producer, somebody. Somebody's a fan of Willie Nelson. A huge fan. And they wanted to have an episode where they get to interact with him and they get to meet him and he plays some songs. And oh no, he's the killer possibly. Oh no. Oh no! Oh, the celebrity might be the bad guy. Oh no, not the celebrity! That's basically the whole episode. And even in that episode, the villain's pretty good. I mean, she's pretty good. But I just felt like it was kind of cringy, kind of episode, just like an excuse to get him in the episode. That's why I didn't like it. Because that's another thing. If you didn't have the cameos in there, this episode would have been trash. It would not have been good at all. So that's really what holds together the whole episode. Mr. Monk Meets Dale the Whale was trash. I really despised that episode. It really just... I wanted to like it because I thought it's a good premise. But just, ugh. It was so annoying. I got so annoyed by this Dale the Whale guy. I was like, ugh, God, I hate this character. He's kind of an interesting character, obviously, because he has information and he's got some backstory with Monk's dead wife, Trudy, and so I like that, the fact that he's, that their interaction develops that story more. But he is a very annoying character. I really hated his character, and I just really did not enjoy that episode. I did not at all. And of course, in that episode, you got Sharona, and she's like, I want to go undercover and work for Dale the Whale. And Monk is like, no, you will not do that. And what does she do? She works for Dale the Whale. And she peels up his cover and looks at his big belly and just looks at it. And she pukes after that, but she looks at it. She pulls up that cover. She probably saw some, I don't know what she saw, but she had the curiosity to pull up that cover. Or wait, did he pull it up or her? Whatever. She had the she wanted to look at that. And I think that that's another thing that made me kind of question Sharona. and so, okay. I'm not gonna... And obviously, guys, my favorite character is Monk. My least favorite character is Sharona. And you know what? I like Sharona's sister more than her. Sharona's sister, she can cook some Italian food. She was trying to seduce the sidekick of the Captain Mustache Man. I was like, man, she's right there. Come on. Stay here and eat some spaghetti with her. Come on. Look, come on, man. You're going to leave like that? What are you? I got really mad at that scene. I mean, he passed up a huge opportunity. Okay. And my final con is that the finale did not feel like a finale. The finale where Monk gets on an airplane and solves a mystery on the airplane while flying and conquering his fear of flight. Excuse me, sorry. That episode did not feel like a finale of the season. It felt like a very powerful, Emmy-winning episode that would be episode 9, episode 8. It did not feel like the finale. They didn't even have Captain Mustache Man. No one had an arc except for Monk. Monk's arc was he got over fear of flying. Sharona just did... Oh yeah, I forgot all about what Sharona did. With the whole actor romance where she wants to be with that one random actor who I don't even know who that guy is. She wants to be with him, and she's like trying to get into his pants by consulting with him and being like, no, you shouldn't have a mustache in your next movie because I saw the movie with the mustache and that one bombed. You know, that was, oh God, I forgot all about that plotline. Oh. I'm sorry, Sharona. I don't mean you this harm. It's just unfortunate that your character was written this way and was written so poorly. Such a poor character. You know, it could have been interesting, but just wow, almost the whole episode she's interacting with. Oh, but never mind. But I was just making a point of there's no arc there. She didn't have any arc. The mustache man, he's not in the episode. He can't have an arc if he's not in the episode. The mustache man's sidekick, he didn't have an arc. He helped out Monk, which was cool because it developed his character. And so, okay, if he can't rely on the captain, he's got to rely on his sidekick, the henchman. I'm just going to call him henchman guy from now on. And so that's cool, but he didn't have any arc either. But you had an amazing villain. That's another great villain. Wow. That guy was really sinister, and he had a cold look. You know, you could put his face on a mugshot and I would be creeped out. I mean, he was really creepy the way that he was pulling the strings, and you know, you got his girl who's pretending to be his wife. I mean, what a sinister plot. And it was a good episode, but it just did not feel like the finale. If they had arcs for these characters, I would have felt like it was a finale. But since they didn't, it just felt like a really nice in-the-middle episode. An episode that felt like a finale was the Other Woman episode, because it dealt with Trudy. And it dealt with, okay, he gets this new woman. And it's like a very dramatic thing where she could be the killer or not. And, you know, it's very powerful because then he can't resist her. And, you know, that's pretty dark. You know, he can't resist this woman just because she looks and reminds him of his dead wife. And she might be evil. I mean, that's dark. That's some evil shit right there. And then you got the Asylum episode could have been a finale, because it deals with his illness, and also Trudy, the way that he broke into his dead wife's apartment on accident. That was another great little thing that happened. And so, yeah, it's just sad that there were some things that were bad, but the show was overall pretty good. In terms of what I would rate the show, I thought about that a little bit. It's very easy. So, chicken parmesan is something people like, I guess. It's okay. You know, my mom made chicken parmesan years ago, and it was, oh God, it was gross. I didn't even eat it. I pretended like I had food poisoning, and like it gave me food poisoning. I took one, I mean, let's just say it was a chicken breast that was cooked. It didn't have any seasoning. It had this very light layer of breadcrumbs on it, and it was just drenched in tomato sauce. It was probably one of the grossest things I've ever eaten. Oh, actually, it wasn't that gross, but it was really, really bad. And I pretended like it made me have diarrhea so that I didn't have to eat any more of it. That's how much I was like grossed out by it. And then I tried it again at the Olive Garden recently, actually, and I thought, oh, that was okay. That's this show. It's okay. It's pretty good. You know, you got a strong main dish. You know, you got this crispy chicken. And it's in that crispy fried, that shell. I love biting into that crispy shell. And then you got the tomato sauce, which kind of drenches it, and I don't like how it soaks it and makes it soggy. And so that's kind of like some of the bad stuff. And so that's what it is to me. This show, Monk Season 1, is chicken parmesan from the Olive Garden. And I hope Season 2 is better. You know, everything can always be better. You know, even the best shows can be better. Even the greatest shows can be better. Even you know, even the bad shows have good episodes. So everything has flaws and pros and cons, everything. And so, yeah, please like this long video if you liked it. Comment, tell me what you thought of Monk Season 1. I'm gonna go watch Monk Season 2 because that's another thing. Watchability. Why did I do this review? Because I wanted to go watch more. And so I wouldn't be spoiled and I wouldn't have too much insight into the future if I had waited to do this review. So that's a great thing. I really want to watch the show. And then subscribe to our channel if you want to see the future Monk season reviews. I think that they could bring back Monk easily today with the pandemic that happened. Could you imagine a whole season, a whole fucking Monk would go crazy. They could have a whole series where just Monk, he is turned into a different character because of this pandemic. And he has now become this like dark character, and he's I don't know, that doesn't really sound that good, never mind. But you know they could bring it back. I really think they could, and I'm really looking forward to checking out the rest. Okay, goodbye everybody, see you soon for Monk Season 2 review.